running out for the Cleveland Indians to get back in the Central Division race. They face a must-win game tonight at home against Detroit. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Tribe came into this series in many ways really needing to sweep the Tigers, but yesterday they were done in by an old friend, Victor Martinez, who got him with one swing of the bat.
Well, Victor's still an excellent fastball hitter, and he gets a fastball on the middle inside part of that plate and turned on it. There were 2 runners aboard. The big mistake was the walk to Cabrera prior to that. There was a base hit. That was a big 3-run home run. Surprisingly, though, that was Victor's first 3-run home run of the season. But, you know, he's driven in 8 against the Indians in 10 games. But I think the Detroit Tigers really picked it up when they swept the Indians back when we were in Detroit. They've been playing very good baseball ever since that point.
The Indians will hand the ball tonight to Fausto Carmona. 8 career wins against Detroit and an ERA of 3.5. And as we look at our pitching matchup, it's brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today.
Well, they're facing a guy, Rick Porcello, who they've beat around the ballpark in the last 2 times that he has started against the Indians. You can see his ERA over 9. He's a sinker ball pitcher. He's going to have to get the ground ball. But now Fausto Carmona, on the other hand, he always seems to dial up a good one against Detroit. I mean, he's had some tough ball games where he's given up 3 or 4 runs to get a loss. They're going to have to score at least 4 runs. Go out there and get a win. And Fausto Carmona, he needs to get him back on the winning track for a chance for tomorrow's game.
We've got all the play-by-play action. It's coming up next right here on Sports Time Ohio. An overcast evening in downtown Cleveland as the Indians try to even this series against the Detroit Tigers at a game apiece. Fausto Carmona on the hill for the Indians here tonight. And let's have a look at Jim Leyland's starting lineup for the Detroit Tigers. Austin Jackson in the leadoff spot, followed by Andy Dirks. Delman Young hitting third. Then it's Miguel Cabrera. He's reached safely in 32 straight games. Victor Martinez, the DH, bats fifth. Alex Avila hitting sixth. Then it's Johnny Peralta, Don Kelly, and Ramon Santiago.
Fausto Carmona on the mound for the Indians, his 28th start this year against the Tigers. He is 1-1. He is 8-5 in his career. His last start came August 11th right here in Progressive Field. It was a 4-3 loss to the Tigers, but he did pitch 7 innings, gave up 7 hits. He has pitched 163 2/3 innings this year. He's given up 170 hits. So Fausto coming off a loss to the Oakland A's in his last start, looking to come back and have another good one against Detroit.
Austin Jackson takes the first pitch strike from Fausto Carmona. .66 degrees, our game time temperature here tonight. Jackson rolls one to Jason Kipnis. And the second baseman back in action, throws him out, one away.
Well, let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country watching on the Armed Forces Network. Carrera in left, Sizemore in center, Fukudome is in right, Chisenhall at third, Cabrera at short, Chisenhall back at second base, just coming off the DL today. Santana is at first, Lou Marson behind the plate.
Andy Dirks, the Tigers right fielder, looks at a ball up high. He was 0 for 3 yesterday. Pitch is down low. It's 2-0. Three balls, no strikes as we take a look at today's Ion 4 Power Aid rankings. Carmona behind Trevor Cahill of Oakland, and the ground ball to fly ball ratio, and of course Justin Masterson right behind him. Here's a 3-0 to Dirks, taking it's a strike. Swung on and missed. It's a full count. And the payoff pitch is popped up. Kipnis backpedaling. And the second baseman has that 2 down. Today's injury report is brought to you by Elk and Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Now Jason Kipnis back from the DL. Carlos Carrasco will have season-ending Tommy John surgery coming up. Luis Valbuena called back from AAA Columbus. So bad news for Carlos Carrasco. He'll be out anywhere from 12 to 18 months. That pretty much takes you through all of next year.
Yeah, news that leaked out earlier is ended up being true.
Delman Young takes a strike. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. And the ball runs inside off the plate. 2-1.
Delman Young has been a nice addition since being acquired from the Minnesota Twins in his 21 games, hitting .300 with 3 dingers and 17 RBIs. And of course, they put him right into that number 3 hole where he's hitting in front of Cabrera.
Three and 1 the count. With 2 down and the bases empty here in the first, Miguel Cabrera would be next. And he will bat here in the first as Young draws a walk with 2 down. With more on the season-ending surgery for Carlos Carrasco, here's Katie Witham.
Have Tommy gun surgery. It's an acute injury, so the guys feel it pop, hear it pop, and they know when they did it. With Carlos Carrasco, he actually sustained this injury when he was a teenager, and just the throwing over time really tore that ligament up, slowly stopped stabilizing the elbow. They were able to see that on the MRI. He will have surgery tomorrow in New York, guys.
All right, thanks, Katie. Here's Miguel Cabrera fouling it back out of play. Yeah, not every pitcher suffers the same type of injury where you just hear the pop and you walk off the mound and you know it's gone.
So it seems like almost every pitcher has had it at one point of time in their career.
certainly seems more do than don't, that's for sure. Two down and a runner at first, and Cabrera down on the count 0-2. Carmona fires, and Cabrera lines it to left field, a base hit. Nice stop by Carrera. And the Tigers have 2 on with 2 out now here in the first on an 0-2 pitch. Cabrera barreled that up.
Well, it wasn't a very good 0-2 pitch. When you get a good hitter down in the count like this, you can't approach him and throw him one right down the middle. And I mean, he smokes it. Change up, away, and it stayed middle of the plate. He just stayed back and hits it. And look at the topspin. I'll tell you, Carrera got a nice jump on that ball, did a beautiful job of keeping it in front of him. So it remains just a single, and Young has to stay at second base.
And Victor Martinez, with 2 on and 2 out, steps in. 1 for 4 yesterday, but that one a biggie, a 3-run homer. And a balk called on Carmona. That'll advance the runners to second and third.
Well, Tony Randazzo picked it up quickly off Carmona. Watch him flinch. It didn't last. Watch the flinch. There it is. He went into his glove and stopped, and that is a balk. For Carmona, that is the first balk for him this year.
Strike over the inside corner to Victor Martinez. Victor hitting .392 with runners in scoring position. That's the second best average in the league. And he adds to it right here, scoring 1. Cabrera will try to come home as well. Sizemore's throw, not in time. And it's a 2-out, 2-run single for Victor Martinez. And the Tigers take a 2-0 lead here in the first. So it starts with the 2-out walk, then the base hit on an 0-2 pitch, a balk, and a 2-run single, and the Tigers jump on top.
Isn't that something? A little two-seamer. And Victor knows, Carmona knows pretty much what he's going to throw. And he gets that two-seamer away and slaps it right back up the middle between his legs. And the Tigers do some damage with 2 outs. And, of course, the guy doing the damage, Victor Martinez, that's his 83rd and 84th RBI. Very good with runners in scoring position this year for Victor.
Brings up Alex Avila. And he takes a strike.
You know, you look at Carmona out of the stretch, and he has had his problems because out of the stretch, he's about 100 points difference. They're hitting .323 with runners on compared to .229 when he's out of that full windup.
Runner goes, and it's lined to center. It's going to drop for a hit. Sizemore scoops it up. Martinez stopping at second. And the Tigers with 3 straight 2-out hits off Carmona. That sinker just didn't sink. It stayed up. And Avila squared it up right back through the middle. And so now Detroit has 2 on and 2 out for Johnny Peralta. Peralta was 0 for 3 yesterday. Comes in with 18 homers, 75 runs batted in on the year. Swing and a miss, 1-1 the count. Every general manager in baseball tries to upgrade their team in the offseason and during the season, and you never know for sure when you bring new players into the mix how they'll assimilate, how they'll fit in. But boy, Dave Dombrowski struck gold with the additions of Victor Martinez, Johnny Peralta, trading for Delman Young, trading for Doug Fister. It's almost as though he can do no wrong. And Peralta, with the 4th straight 2-out hit for Detroit, brings home another run as Martinez scores. Avila goes to 3rd, and it's 3-0 Detroit.
Well, this is a Tigers ball club that they've been, averaging over 6 runs a game. They have been hot. But for Carmona, it's location. I mean, when you see it right there, 1-1 pitch, he's leaving the ball up, he's leaving the ball middle of the plate. And, there's no way Peralta should be able to pull a ball down the line like that if he at least locates his pitches. That's the 4th straight hit with 2 outs, and Detroit has put 3 on the board.
They're at the corners now for Don Kelly, who did not play yesterday. And he looks at a ball inside. Carmona wants a new baseball. You got to look there at Peralta. Doing a number with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year.
Well, and then you had another guy that was excellent with runners in scoring position. They got it started with Victor Martinez, driving in the first 2.
1-1 the count on Don Kelly. The 1-1. A little bit too high. 2 balls and a strike. Now remember, Carmona came in with a career 8-5 record against Detroit and an ERA of 3.50. And another base hit, another run. That's 4 in the inning as Avila comes home. The 5th straight 2-out hit for Detroit here in the first, and the Boo Birds rain down on Carmona.
Well, right now, he has dug himself and his teammates a hole that, it's tough to come out of. Let's look at the locations for Carmona. This guy had 2 outs in the first inning with 8 pitches. Then he comes down and everything's going to be middle of the plate, right into their swing planes. And I mean, you have to locate better than that. That's all you can say. I mean, you go back, you look at the video. They showed you right there 5 straight hits, and they've all been good pitches to hit. And that's why Tigers are swinging the bat very well. They're going to hit them. But, so close. You come down 2 outs and nobody on. You walk the 3rd guy, an 0-2 count to the 4th hitter, and he give up a base hit, and that's when it all started. I mean, they don't even have a chance to settle in.
Another base hit into left field. They're going to wave Peralta around. Here's the throw, way off line. 5-0 Detroit. This is incredible. 6 consecutive 2-out hits for Detroit. 3 straight driving in runs.
Well, I want to see on this throw from Carrera where it was, because if Chisenhall cuts it, you cut it and you still had time maybe to come home. They're trying to force the runner because they have 4 in. He cuts it, and that one looked like it was out. Look where Marson is. It had to be offline because you got to get your feet ready. Yeah, that one's way offline, so he had to cut it. He couldn't really catch it and stop and turn to throw home. And everybody just stays put.
Austin Jackson started this inning by grounding out to second base. There were 2 down and the bases empty when Carmona walked Delman Young. And the Tigers have followed that up with 6 consecutive 2-out singles. Jackson in the hole. Cabrera backhands it, goes to second for the inning-ending force. Terrific play by Asdrubal Cabrera to end the inning. But the Tigers strike early for 5. the top. Then it's Carlos Santana, Jim Thome, and Jason Kipnis. Lonnie Chisenhall, Ezekiel Carrera, and Lou Marson round it out.
Well, Rick Porcello on the mound for the Tigers, and boy, they staked him to 5 in the first inning. He's got to love that. He's starting for the 27th time. A nice record, 12-8. But you can see they've scored for him. He has a 5.01 ERA. And against the Indians, it's 9 this year. So they have had success against him. He's a sinker ball pitcher. Looks to get the balls on the ground, but the Indians have beaten him around a couple of times.
Here's Grady Sizemore, 0 for 4 last night in his return, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, in his return to the lineup. Down in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Grady with a big bouncing ball towards second. Ramon Santiago takes care of that one away. Our great clip of the game from yesterday, Kosuke Fukudome continues his hot hitting ways. His 14th run batted in 36 games with the Indians. Relax, you're at Great Clips. He drove in 13 in 87 games with the Cubs. But he's hitting .345 with 2 homers, 7 runs batted in just his last 14 games here in Cleveland.
No, he really has done a nice job. And he's hit, earlier when we first got him, they started to hit him down in the number 6 hole, but I like him better in the top 2 spots. I mean, since he's up there, he's got a pretty good eye at the plate, and he's got some big hits for this offense.
1 ball, 1 strike. Down too low, 2-1.
No, this is one here now when you're in offense and you start out in the first inning, you're down 5-0. You can't try and make it all back. You got to try and get on the board early and at least stop some momentum. But what the Indians now have to do is put zeros on the board the rest of the way to let this offense dig their way back into it. Especially that, and that's exactly what the Tigers want to do. They know if they can get onto this offense early, takes them out of their game plan. You can't be aggressive.
Well, they've definitely got their work cut out for them. Down 5, but a long way to go. Payoff pitch. And Fukudome just fights it off to stay alive. And Porcello's payoff pitch. Sliced foul. Again, the 3-2. And a roller to first. Miguel Cabrera fumbles with it, but has time to make the flip for out number 2.
Let's take a look at the Home Depot Detroit Tigers defense this evening behind Porcello. Young in left, Jackson in center, Dirks in right. It's Kelly at third, Peralta at short, Santiago at second. Cabrera is at first with Avila behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Larry Vanover calling the balls and strikes tonight. Brian Gorman at first, Tony Randazzo at second, Jim Wolf down at third. As Dribble Cabrera 0 for 4 in yesterday's series opener. And a fly ball to left hit right at Delman Young. And the Indians go 1-2-3. 5-0 Detroit after 1. you by McDonald's. The Mango Pineapple Real Fruit Smoothie has arrived. By your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. And by AT&T. Second inning. Andy Dirks to lead off for Detroit. And the pitch outside for ball one. Dirks, Delman Young, Miguel Cabrera here in inning 2 for Detroit. Fausto Carmona only needed 8 pitches to get the first 2 outs in that first inning, and then it was as if the proverbial roof fell in on him, and it's not getting any better here to start the second. Dirks will stop at second base. He'll have to stop. Fan interference was called by the umpire, Brian Gorman. So Dirks has a double to start inning number 2.
Oh boy, that fastball right there, middle in. It didn't look like it had much movement. They turned on it.
Yeah, why is that? Normally when we see Carmona, if anything, he's got too much movement. Today it's void of movement.
Sometimes it's hard. Maybe you're overthrowing. Maybe it's how you're gripping the baseball. Sometimes it just doesn't move. I don't know.
Well, they've got the bullpen busy already.
Now he's going to try and really start throwing it.
Delman Young walked and scored in the first. Chad Durbin is up in the Tribe pen. That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, normally he has a tough time throwing his ball straight, and it moves all over the place. And that one, the one he threw right there to Dirks, it just seemed to stay right there.
Now it's 3-0 to Delman Young.
Yeah, this game hasn't started out too well for Fausto. He had better get it under control, or he will not be long for this game.
He finds the strike zone, 3-1. Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck with Dirks at second base. And a little tapper to the right side. That'll get the runner over to third. Kipnis fires to Carmona. And Young is out number 1. Here's a look at tonight's trivia question brought to you by AT&T. 3 players in Tigers history have hit 45 or more homers in a season. We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. Indians forced to bring the infield in already here with a runner at third and 1 out. Miguel Cabrera at the plate. They'll play the left side of the infield back a little more. Right side of the infield up on the cut of the grass. And it's inside for ball 1. The 1-0 bounces it foul. This will be pitch number 40 for Fausto Carmona. And on the 1-1, it ran in off the plate. There's the movement. But that moved so much that Cabrera didn't have to offer at it. Marston's going to go out to talk to Fausto now.
When you get games like Fausto here, what happens now, he gets back to reverting back. Remember how he's been under control. He's been controlling his emotions and, you know, how hard he throws the ball. Now it's getting to the point where if he doesn't get the movement on the ball, he's going to overthrow. And that's what happens. It's tougher to control it where it just starts taking off. And that's what up and in. He'll be up and into the righties and up and away to the lefties because that front shoulder will start flying open. He'll start spinning his body.
That is mashed center field all the way to the fence. Cabrera on his way to second. And he will go in standing with an RBI double, 6-0 Detroit.
Well, it was 5 singles in the first inning.
Cabrera's 39th double on the year, and that's going to do it for Fausto Carmona.
Should say 6 singles in the first inning, and now in this inning it's 2 doubles. Yeah, this is one that he's going to want to forget, and I mean this guy just smokes that sinker down and into right center field. You talk about a pretty swing. That's why he has 94 ribbies on the year. Such a good hitter. And a short night for Carmona.
He lasts just an inning and a third, and the Tigers lead it 6-0. We'll be right back. Verizon 4G LTE rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. Chad Durbin on for the Tribe after Fausto Carmona lasted just an inning and a third here tonight. Durbin 2 up, 2 down, 4.97 ERA. He has struck out 50, walked 18 in 58 innings of work. He comes on with a runner at second and 1 out, and Victor Martinez will be at the plate.
I'm thinking that has to be the shortest start by an Indian starter this year, barring injuries and everything.
Victor Martinez, a 2-out, 2-run single in the first. Now 5 runs batted in the 2 games of this series. That goes to the backstop, and down to third goes Cabrera.
Yeah, you look at 2 of their shortest starts on the year, barring any injuries or anything, and both have come against the Tigers. Tonight, Fausto and David Huff when we were back in Detroit. The Tigers, a team that have played very well in the division this year.
Indians bring the infield in again. It's up too high, 2-0. Durbin sets at the belt. He deals, and Martinez slices it foul out of play. this is a Tigers team that has been on a pretty good roll, especially on the road. They've won 19 of their last 29 road games. They're 4 games above 500 on the year. Remember, early in the year, they couldn't win a game on the road. But they've turned that around. That's been a big reason for their second half surge.
Well, we have probably seen the Tigers at both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
When they were first here earlier, they looked dead. They looked lethargic. They weren't hitting. Remember, Leland had a meeting, I think, after they left here the first
remember, Victor Martinez was hurt early in the year and didn't play. And that's obviously a big part of their offense, because when he's backing up Cabrera, it gives that lineup length. It gives him protection.
But, I mean, it seemed like everybody, whoever we talked to that was associated with the Tigers, the Daubers were down. You know, they were just in that sort of way, and the Indians were playing as well as they could play. And now it's the exact opposite. Detroit is playing very, very well, and the Indians are the team that are struggling.
Well, Alex Avila steps in here. Singled and scored his first time up. Durbin will look for that double play ball to try and get out of this inning.
That guy probably threw the ball as well as he's thrown it all year last night, huh?
Career best, 13
Boy,
strikeouts.
Doug Fister, I mean, he had a great curveball last night. He was strike 1 to 20 hitters. He was very, very good in his 8 innings.
He struck out 36 and walked 3 in his last 5 starts. That's a pretty good
He's
roll.
locked in. That's a big guy now, 6'8". He has been a nice pickup for him.
Avila swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Two balls and a strike. First and third for Detroit with 1 out here in the second inning, and the 2-1 pitch is outside. 3 balls and a strike. That's ball 4, and Durbin's walked the first 2 he's faced. Bases are loaded with 1 out, and Johnny Peralta coming to the plate. Peralta, an RBI single his first time up. Takes a ball in the dirt, gets away from Marson, another run comes home. 7-0 Detroit. Second wild pitch of the inning for Chad Durbin.
Yeah, this is getting mighty ugly right now. I mean, let's see. I mean, it is going to be down in the dirt. It's a breaking ball, but Lou goes out and backhands it. You know, thought he was going to get it before it hit the dirt. You know, that's a little nonchalant right there to let that ball get away and score a run. So now it's getting ugly. This is where Detroit will just sit back and enjoy it and have a party and have fun. And right now the Indians are not going to be, they're not doing anything right.
The 1-1 in the air. Right field. Fukudome drifting back. He'll make the catch. Martinez will tag and come home. And it's 8-0 Detroit. For Peralta, his second RBI of the night, 77 on the year. Also on that play, Alex Avila tagged, moved from second to third. So a runner at third with 2 down for Don Kelly. Lines the first to end the inning. Detroit scores 3 more. They lead it 8-zip middle of the second. Eight 0 Tigers as the Indians come to bat here in the bottom of the second inning. Carlos Santana pops it foul out of play. Carlos Santana, 21 homers, 68 runs batted in on the year. 0 for 3 yesterday. Takes a look at a ball down low to even the count. Now the 1-1. That's up high, 2 balls and a strike. Bounced it in front of the plate, 3-1. Santana 4th in the American League with 82 walks.
Yeah, that's a great number for a young hitter like that, thrown into the middle part of that lineup with a team that really hasn't had much to hit behind them all year long.
Yeah. You know, we just talked about how important Victor Martinez is with an established guy like Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
You're talking about Santana, a rookie with, really not much all season long.
Well, that's one reason, Matt, I think why he's gone up and he struck out so much, because sometimes he will, go out of the zone. He'll swing and miss thinking they're going to throw him strikes. But he's learned a lot this year, and he's been better in the second half, and he's only going to get better.
Strikes out here, 1 down in the second. Our minor league report brought to you by Kia. Bo Mills last night, 3-1 loss to Toledo, was 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. 11 for his last 20 with 3 homers and 6 driven in. Here's Jim Thome. And he looks at a ball up high. That's down low. 2 balls, no strikes. Thome 1 for 4 yesterday, and he was also robbed of a hit thanks to that shift
Yeah, he hit it right where he was playing at right now.
Santiago, the second baseman, caught it. Yeah, right out there in right field.
Yes, he did. You know, that's one of the few times I've actually seen a ball when they play like that was actually hit there.
You're right. Routine play here for Austin Jackson, 2 down. Jason Kipnis steps to the plate now with 2 down in the second inning, back in the starting lineup after spending time on the disabled list. And with more on Kipnis, here's Katie Witham.
Well, Matt Maniac told me don't expect to see Jason Kipnis out there every day. In any other situation, he'd really be down rehabbing in Columbus, but they just don't have that luxury right now. Kipnis admitted to me also that he does feel a little bit rusty. You know, just took his first BP session yesterday, but the key for him was to prepare like he really hasn't missed a game, but also to keep in mind that he can't overdo it.
He takes a first pitch strike from Rick Porcello.
Well, I would be surprised if he gets a couple at bats and take him out of this game. If you want to do something like that and ease him into it. 8-0 ball game. You got a 12 o'clock game coming tomorrow and you're facing Justin Verlander, so 2 at bats may be a good number for him tonight.
You know, a lot of times when you look at their rehab, that's what they do.
Sure.
In the rehab start, they'll
Absolutely.
start them out slow and build up.
You give him a couple at bats and get him out of there.
Kipnis with a liner, left field, base hit. Delman Young cuts it off. Kipnis a wide turn. He'll hold with a 2-out single.
Certainly doesn't look like he missed a beat, does it?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to need all that time off that you were talking about.
Give him 2 at bats. That's right. But look at that. He's 4 for 4 with a homer against Porcello. And that's a nice start when you come back and you can. That ball was elevated too. Porcello, a sinker ball pitcher. He gets it up. He's going to get hurt. But Kipnis drives the ball the other way. Nicely done.
So Lonnie Chisenhall steps in with a runner on and 2 down. Chisenhall 0 for 4 yesterday. Big hopper to second. Santiago will flip it over. 2 complete. 8-0 Detroit. Back here, top of the third. I want to remind you to stay tuned later in the game to see our Miller taste greatness moment. For the Tigers, Ramon Santiago will lead it off. Santiago, an RBI single his first time up.
And that was in the first inning. He was a ninth man in the bat and kept it going.
Here's the set by Durbin and the 2-1 pitch. In and out of the glove. He recovers, fires to first.
No,
Santiago out
nice
number
play.
1. Yes, it was.
Heads up play, man, to stay away, stay alive, and go pick up the baseball, and got himself in position to turn and throw. Got the glove. That was in there for a base hit, but he got enough leather on it to knock it down. He had the presence to know where it was at and get the out.
Cloudy day here in northeastern Ohio all day long. Had some intermittent rain here and there. And now in the twilight, you got this huge, thick layer of clouds that very low, just out over Lake Erie, beyond the skyline of downtown Cleveland. Interesting, too. I mean, they're moving east to west. Usually you see the clouds moving the other direction. But
well, you know what happened? It's circling, and forecast is not very good for tomorrow, and it's a 12 o'clock game. That may be a back around to see us come tomorrow.
Austin Jackson out looking. First strikeout for Indians pitching here tonight. And Durbin has retired the first 2 here in inning number 3. The Lexus Berea Report returns to STO tomorrow night at 9. Andre Knott, Tony Grossi, Doug Deacon all provide updates from Berea as the Browns get ready for the home opener against Cincinnati. The Lexus Berea Report tomorrow night at 9, right here on STO. Andy Dirks doubled and scored in the second. Fastball jammed him. Sizemore coming in to make the catch. And the Tigers go 1-2-3. We'll go to the bottom of the third, Tribe down 8. Going now to the bottom of the third here at Progressive Field as you look at the incredible sky in downtown Cleveland with the clouds and everything. Ezekiel Carrera leading off takes a strike. Carrera, then Lou Marson and Grady Sizemore here in the third for Cleveland. The 0-2 over the head of Porcello. Peralta on the move. Throws him out. Let's send it down once again to Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, Rick, the Indians have the playoff payoff program going on right now. So all you diehard Tribe fans, all you have to do is make a deposit for next year's season tickets, and you will be guaranteed the opportunity to purchase any postseason tickets for games played here at Progressive Field. Check it out online right now at Indians.com, guys.
Thanks, Katie. Here's Lou Marson. Indians catcher 0 for 3 yesterday. Looks at the ball outside. Evens the count of 1-1. Out in the American League Western Division, Mike Scioscia's Angels are charging hard. They've closed it within 2.5 games of front-running Texas. They've won 3 straight. They're in action later tonight against Seattle. Texas, meanwhile, out to a 3-0 lead down in St. Pete over Tampa Bay. 2 down. Top of the order, Grady Sizemore.
Send out a couple of birthday wishes. Virginia, Jenny Barham is turning 95 today. Jenny, happy birthday. Rick Sampson is 77 from Colesburg, Iowa. Big Indians fan. Happy birthday, Rick.
Brian Penzone is 34 in Columbus, Ohio. Is it me or we have a lot of September birthdays?
Yeah. September and May. May seems to be the one off the charts, especially your week. And then, other than that, there's a lot. There have been for the first week of this month, yes.
Man, the 1-0. Well, I'm May, you're September, and those seem to be the 2 big months. Is that coincidence? Texas has now made it 5-0 against Tampa. They're in the third. Boston early over Toronto 6-0 up at the Rogers Center. Raining in New York, raining in Philadelphia over the National League. So also down in Florida, they're in a rain delay.
Well, there's not a lot of time for any makeups anymore for some ball clubs, and the Indians being one of them. You know, there is no time.
Grady blasts one to right field. Almost misjudged by Dirks, but he's able to recover to make the grab. And the Indians go 1-2-3. We go to the fourth, 8-0 Detroit. Fourth inning. And for Detroit, Delman Young, Miguel Cabrera, and Victor Martinez due up. Young fans, they want to see the Indians mount a comeback. Right now it's up to Chad Durbin to throw up another 0. He retired the side 1-2-3 in the third. And Delman Young starts the fourth with a leadoff single. His first hit tonight, third hit in the series.
Down and in, Delman Young just found the hole between short and third. Tigers with their hitting shoes on, 9 hits tonight. They have the 2 doubles and 7 singles.
Miguel Cabrera looks at a ball outside. He's already singled and doubled tonight. He's driven in 1, scored 1. Scored 2, excuse me. He's reached base now in 33 straight games safely. Durbin jumped on it. There was a little miscommunication
yes, there was.
there. He and Marson were both going after the ball, and he ended up grabbing it. But by the time he did, Cabrera was able to leg it out.
Well, I got it, you take it, I got it, and both of them had the opportunity to take it. But more times than not, the catcher with his momentum, look at, he's going to drop it, and Durbin grabbed it with his glove, so Lou had to get out of the way. And then, had a little trouble getting it out of the glove, so that'll go as an infield single for Cabrera.
He doesn't get many of those.
No, he does not.
2 on, nobody out.
That's when you know you're going good.
Victor Martinez steps in. Line smash, what a grab by Santana. Gets one there, but Cabrera has nobody to throw to at first.
Holy smokes, is that a beautiful pick.
That was an outstanding defensive effort by Santana. It was pick it or get killed maybe.
Durbin got caught looking is what happened. And with Victor Martinez, that should have been a double play ball, but he got caught looking on the mound. What a pick. I mean to tell you, that ball was smoked. And there it is, a backhanded stab, and then Durbin was just a step or so late. And, as a shortstop, you can't lead the runner. Look at it. Hands were down. He came up. Nice play. Cabrera was waiting for somebody to get there. You can't lead the pitcher. So, nice play to get the out.
First and third, one down for Alex Avila. Check swing, he went around. Missed outside with it. 2 balls and a strike. Caught the outside corner with it, and the count evens at 2-2. Got him. Second strikeout for Chad Durbin, and there are 2 down here in the fourth.
Well, the way this inning started, you thought they were going to continue to go, but he's got an opportunity to get out of this inning without giving anything up.
Ran it inside to Johnny Peralta, who has driven in 2 runs here tonight with a base hit in the first and a sac fly in the second. Back out of play. And the 1-1 caught the outside edge. Ed Durbin gets ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Delman Young, the runner, at third. Victor Martinez is at first. And that's too low, evens the count. Series finale tomorrow at noon. And we'll have it for you on Sports Time Ohio. Great pitching matchup as Justin Masterson goes up against Justin Verlander. Full count to Peralta. Verlander with 21 wins, 2.34 ERA. Masterson 11 wins and a 2.92 earned run average. Payoff pitch hit to right. Fukudome is there, and the inning is over. Here in the bottom of the fourth, the Indians will send Kosuke Fukudome, Asdrubal Cabrera, and Carlos Santana to the plate. Kosuke Fukudome bounced out to first his first time up. Now the 0-1. One hop smash, Cabrera to a knee, and now the flip. One away. Sunday Strategy, presented by Conrad Tire Express and Total Car Care, returns Thursday night at 7. Andre Knott, Doug Deacon, and Tony Grossi will get you ready for the Browns home opener against Cincinnati. It's Sunday Strategy, Thursday night at 7 right here on STO. One hopper to Ramon Santiago. He throws out Asdrubal Cabrera, 2 away. Browns home opener Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals, and then they head to Indianapolis to play the Colts in week 2, and it'll be interesting to see. Everybody's wondering what's going on with Peyton Manning, especially those of us who drafted him in our fantasy football league.
Well, I heard could miss up to 5 weeks, my friend.
Bite your tongue.
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying what I heard. I know nothing about football.
No, but certainly, for the Browns, you would think a Peyton Manningless Colts team gives you a much better chance.
Oh, absolutely. As a defense, I think you prepare a little differently.
Kerry Collins, seems like he's been playing forever now. He's the starter for Indy. The 0-1.
You're already looking at game 2, guy. You got to get their first one in first.
Well, that's true. Now the 1-1. Swung on and missed, but you realize both of those games will have been played before we come back home.
Yeah, that's true.
Carlos Santana struck out his first time up, down on the count 1-2. If you joined us late, and Detroit jumped on the Indians with 5 in the first, and they tacked on 3 more in the second, chasing Fausto Carmona from the game. He lasted just an inning and a third. Rick Porcello has allowed just 1 hit, 2-out single to Jason Kipnis in the second inning. Full count. Santana with his second straight 3-2 count in the game. He struck out on the 3-2 pitch in the second. And he'll get another crack here. Boston leads Toronto now 8-0 in the third.
Didn't they play a 1-0 game yesterday?
I didn't see. Did they?
Yeah, I thought so. Thought it was 1-0 Toronto over Boston in extra innings.
Well, I know they lost because they're 2.5 back of the Yankees now, who have won 5 straight. Yankees in a rain delay at home against Baltimore. 3-2 pitch. Big bouncer to first. And Cabrera takes it himself. Indians go in order. We go to the 5th. 8-0 Detroit. Is brought to you by United, proud to fly the Cleveland Indians. By Panini's. Like Panini's franchise group on Facebook for your chance to win giveaways and prizes. And by Wayside Furniture in Akron. Better priced furniture, lower. Go to the 5th inning here at Progressive Field. And we'll get a look at left-hander Nick Hagedorn. Hagedorn came from the Red Sox as part of the package for Victor Martinez.
Just his second appearance.
Hagedorn delivers. And a bouncing ball to second. Jason Kipnis is there. One down. This scoreboard update brought to you by your Northern Ohio Ford dealers and the all-new 2012 Ford Focus. Ford, drive one. Nick Hagedorn had really been throwing the ball well at AAA Columbus with a 1.91 ERA in his last 22 games. He's a left-hander who can rush it up there in the mid-90s. Two balls, no strikes. Santiago, an RBI single in the first, tapped one back to the mound his last time up. Popped him straight up. Might be playable here from Marson. And he's got it. 2 away.
Well, Santiago pops it up with the way the wind's blowing. It is blowing it toward the seats. That ball usually has a tendency to come back out, but it still stayed in play. Marson makes the catch.
Austin Jackson takes a strike. He's 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 8 in the series.
I see a little difference in Austin Jackson. Now, watch how he lifts that front foot up, and he's timing it. He never used to do it that high.
Swung on and missed. Down and in. Good pitch by Hagedorn. And it's 1-2. I was watching the plays of the month earlier today on the MLB network from the month of August rather, and Austin Jackson's all over him.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, this guy's a heck of a center fielder.
He strikes out here in a good inning of work for Nick Hagedorn. The left-hander comes in, sets him down 1-2-3. Jason Kipnis and Lonnie Chisenhall for the try. Tomei flied to center his first time up. The 2-0 breaks his bat, and Santiago from the outfield grass will throw him out. Our recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. All I can say is it's been all Detroit here tonight. They had 6 straight 2-out hits in the first, and they have been in command ever since. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Jason Kipnis fouling it back. It's 0-2. Kipnis lined a single to left his first time up.
That's the only hit the Indians have today, is that 2-out base hit back in the second. Porcello left him a fastball up out over the plate. Took it to left field.
Down and in. Bangs it up the middle. Backhanded by Santiago from the outfield grass. A perfect bounce throw to retire Kipnis. 2 down.
You know, when you make a play and when you're an infielder now, you don't have to try and make a perfect throw and get it right there. He looks like he did this intentionally. Just a one-hop Cabrera. Throw it into the ground and give him a nice one-hop. Just get rid of it, and he's very accurate. And something that Kipnis did there, you don't do. You don't run over the base. You better step on first base, because if he happens to drop that ball, you know, and you never touched it, then you're never going to be safe. You've got to hit first base every time you run past it. He didn't even touch it.
Not sure I even understand why you wouldn't.
Well, sometimes guys, their foot, you know, they're messed up. Their foot steps.
Now the Indians go 1-2-3 again, and Porcello is dealing. He's retired 10 in a row. $5 discount coupons for the Subway Extreme Fan Zone. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians Fun Money, and you'll get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. Here in the 6th inning, Andy Dirks, Delman Young, and Miguel Cabrera for Detroit. Nick Hagedon, second inning of relief work, went 1-2-3 in the 5th. And then a first pitch strike to Dirks here to open the 6th. Fouled back. It's 0-2. Hanging breaking ball, and it's just foul.
Yeah, that's a breaking ball. You want to get down to the left-handers. You don't want to leave it up top, but that one just misses the foul line. Dirks thought he had one there. When it comes down, just foul.
Fastball froze him.
Yes, indeed.
96 miles an hour.
I wondered if he was going to call that. That was a good pitch.
Let's go to the Hyundai studio for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, let's head to the nation's capital where Steven Strasburg is back on the mound tonight as the Nationals take it on the Dodgers. He's gone 4 innings thus far, has given up no runs, 2 hits allowed, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and the Nats lead the Dodgers in the bottom of the 4th, 3-0. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. Here is Delman Young, 1 for 2. Walked and scored in the first, singled his last time up. Right back to the screen. Nick Hagedon went to the University of Washington. He was a teammate of Tim Lincecum. In fact, Lincecum and Hagedon combined on a no-hitter at the University of Washington back in May of '06. A little bit outside. Nick Hagedon was the 55th overall selection in '07 by Boston. It was a supplemental first-round pick. Right back up the middle, just off the end of the glove of Jason Kipnis, who comes up limping a little bit after he went for that ball.
Yes, he did. You know, it doesn't matter. You come back early and you try and do something. He stretched after that baseball like he had a chance, and it was a nice attempt. Looked like it went off leather, but watch when he comes up. A little limp with the hammy. So that's a base hit for Young. Number 11 for the Tigers tonight.
Miguel Cabrera, 3 for 3. 2 singles, a double. A run batted in, 2 runs scored. And Marson took the brunt of that foul ball. I don't know where that hit him, but I'm wondering, did it get him on the hand? Manny Acta's going to go out and take it. Did, got him on the bare hand, right on the, maybe on the index finger.
Yeah, that's Sometimes that hurts. Sometimes that can get the webbing. And I'll tell you what, we've seen Lou take some foul tips this year, and he doesn't flinch or budge, but that one's on the bare knuckle. He just needs a minute. He's a tough kid, boy.
It's kind of a prerequisite for the job. You want to be a catcher? You better be tough, because you take a lot of abuse back there.
He's tough.
Here's the set and the 0-1 from Hagedon. Cabrera went after it. And it's 0-2. Ball skips away, and Delman Young goes down to second base.
Gets that breaking ball, but he does get Cabrera to swing at it. So I like that. Out of the zone, he couldn't hold it up. First time that Cabrera has faced Hagedon.
And the 0-2. Got
Yes,
him
he
again.
did.
He couldn't hold up.
Came right back with
Same
another
pitch.
breaking ball. Nice.
Third strikeout for Nick Hagedon.
It's like that back foot slider that the lefties like to throw to righties. That one had much better tilt. That one didn't bounce to the ground. That one stayed up above the plate, and Marson has to go down to the backhanded side, but he couldn't check it. He'll go down as a strikeout victim, number 3.
Victor Martinez steps in. 1 for 2 with a walk. He's driven in 2, and he has scored a pair. Fastball just misses. So Hagedon facing the man that he was traded for. Fouled back. And it's 1-1. Never really thought about it, but you hear players talk about it every once in a while. When you're a young player and you get traded, guys want to know, well, who was it that I got traded for? And Nick Hagedon has said, hey, you get traded for a guy like Victor Martinez, and I don't know that it necessarily justifies the trade in your own mind, but you feel pretty good that, hey, that's not like I got
Good
traded
player.
for some
Yeah.
guy on the end of the bench. Now the 1-1. Mentioned earlier about Carlos Carrasco, who's facing Tommy John surgery to repair a torn ligament in his business elbow. Nick Hagedon has had Tommy John surgery. I believe he's 3 years removed now from his surgery. It was back in 2008, towards the end of the 2008 season. The 1-2 popped in the air, right field. Here comes Fukudome, and he'll make the running catch. 2 very good innings of scoreless relief for Nick Hagedon, but it's still 8-0 Detroit. Like Panini's franchise group on Facebook for your chance to win giveaways and prizes. Bottom of the 6th inning, Ezekiel Carrera to lead off for the Indians. He led off the 3rd and grounded out to short. Bounces one toward second, and Ramon Santiago throws him out. High school football returns to STO Friday night. Tony Rizzo and Frank Stams will bring you St. Ignatius versus Mentor on the Notre Dame College High School Game of the Week. Don't miss any of the action Friday night following the Indians and White Sox. St. Ignatius Mentor. Two big school programs squaring off early in the year. Here's Lou Marson. Takes a strike. Marson took that foul tip on his throwing hand.
Doesn't it figure you got to come up and hit the next inning? You can't really put any ice on it and try and get it feeling a little bit better. You got to go up and squeeze the bat. That's one part of the people don't realize when you're catching and you take foul tips off any part of your body. You got to go up and hit and forget about it.
Oh,
well, now he says, take that. I just got the last one, so you take one.
He did not say take that. No,
yes, he did. I heard them when he swung it. Take that. Look at that sinker goes down, and it gets him on the inner thigh. And, you know, those poor catchers, they get beat up all year long. Yeah, but catchers, they never like to do it to another catcher. It's a little fraternity.
The 1-2. Driven to right field. But Dirk's able to run back and grab that for out number 2. So it'll bring up Grady Sizemore.
Happy birthday to Mary Lee of Warren, Ohio, who is 79. Carrie Cosa is turning 60. Mavis Rensenberger of Cleveland Heights is 56. And Christina Filippetti from Columbus. Happy birthday to each and every one out there.
Grady Sizemore takes a strike. And happy anniversary wishes going out tonight to Jim and Michelle Underwood in Hilliard, Ohio, celebrating
relation?
their 36th anniversary. No.
Really?
No relation. Grady with a fly ball fairly deep to center, but Jackson able to get back there. And the Indians go in order again. 13 in a row set down by Rick Porcello.
Field tomorrow, we have Justin Masterson and Justin Verlander on the mound. It'll be a great game. We have lunch and 3 innings going on. You can get tickets for $15 and a $10 food and drink voucher. We'll also be filling the house for charity. $1 from every ticket sold will go to the American Cancer Society. A great cause, so go online right now, Indians.com, and get your tickets. Get on out here and support the tribe. Matt, Rick, we'll send it back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Katie. Nick Hagedorn went 2 scoreless innings out of the Indians bullpen tonight, allowing 1 hit.
Pitched well.
Struck out 3.
Pitched well.
Josh Judy will get some work now. Right-hander coming on for the 5th time.
You know, let's, matter of fact, Nick threw the ball so well, we're going to make him our McDonald's. I'm loving it. The 2 innings he comes in to give the Indians there. Well, you know, 90, anywhere from 90 to 94 mile an hour fastball, a couple of nice breaking balls in there. He had 3 punch outs, good location, and you get Cabrera to strike out. That's something to talk about or something to brag about. So that's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Nick Hagedorn.
Josh Judy will face Alex Avila, Johnny Peralta, and Don Kelly. And Judy gets ahead with a first pitch strike. Josh Judy, a 34th round pick back in 07 out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Low and away. Now the 2-1 to Avila. Fouled back out of play. Throw it by him. Gets a strikeout. A little foul tip. Marson able to hang on. All right, let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question tonight. 3 players in Tigers history have gone yard 45 or more times in a season.
I think big Hank Greenberg. Don't knock the rock.
Cecil?
Final coach.
He hit 50, didn't he?
Yeah. Not Rocky Colavito and Cecil Fielder. There you go. 3 great power hitters.
Peralta cuts and misses. Outside, he misses. 1-1 the count. That is smashed into left field. Second hit for Peralta tonight. And a 1-out single here in the 7th will bring up Don Kelly.
There you go. He gets a ball not quite in, but into his liking. Johnny's swinging it well this year. He's having a terrific year. You look at his numbers, and boy, he has fit in that lineup nice. He's been hitting 7th in that lineup for the good part of the year. And he's put up terrific numbers, over 300, 18 dingers, 77 ribbies, 24 doubles. You know, he was a free agent at the end of the year, and they re-signed him for another couple of years. And boy, he has played well.
Missed inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Just a little bit low, 3-0. And the 3-0 delivery is a strike call. Tigers got 5 in the first, 6 straight, 2-out hits. And then they tacked on 3 more in the second. And that's been it so far. Sky high pop, and I mean way up there. Kipnis makes the grab, 2 down. Well, the year before you made it to the big leagues with the Tribe, on this date, 1974, you want to talk about a frustrating day for the Indians? They got swept in a doubleheader against Baltimore, 2-0 and 1-0.
Wow.
That would be courtesy of Dave McNally and Mike Cuellar.
They could do it to you, boy, the lefties. Cuellar, the screwball pitcher. McNally, a very good pitcher.
That gave the Orioles 5 consecutive shutouts.
Well, they always did have solid pitching.
That established the American League record.
74.
54 straight scoreless frames in 1974 on this
74,
date.
Okay. Yep. All right, September. You're right. I wasn't there yet, so.
Can't
That's
blame
probably
me.
why.
Right?
That's right. You guys can hoot on me all you want, but not.
I wasn't part of that.
Not of that. Not in 1974, my friend. Matter of fact, 74, that was my last year in AAA in Oklahoma City. I did come up to Cleveland in September in a series against the Orioles to watch Jim Kern pitch, who got called up from AAA, and I used to room with him down in minor league. So I came up to watch him pitch. And then my buddy Pat DeLuca.
Santiago strikes out looking, and Josh Judy, with a good, strong, scoreless inning of relief, strikes out a pair. Time now for the Cleveland. Home of Sealy's Posturepedic mattress, made in Northeast Ohio. And by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. It's time to join the Hyundai movement. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Kosuke Fukudome as Drupal Cabrera and Carlos Santana due up here for the Indians. Brandon Inge has taken over at third base now. And Don Kelly's gone from third out to left field. Delman Young's night is over. Kosuke Fukudome 0 for 2 on the night. And he takes a strike. Funny how I can bring up a game from 1974 that was a doubleheader, and you in the break, you said, I think I was at that game.
I was. That is, I can't believe you talked about it, and they were shut out in a doubleheader, and I just happened to come up to Cleveland.
Now, were you on the roster, or were you just...
No. I just came up to watch Jim Kern pitch.
I didn't know if you got a September call-up, or...
No, I called myself up. From Niagara Falls.
There's a long fly ball, deep right field. No shutout tonight. Kosuke Fukudome, his third home run as a Cleveland Indian, and his second in as many games.
Well, he's got that long ball stroke working. Fukudome. Let's take a look at that home run replay. Great needs, great deeds, great clips. There it is. Fastball right there. Turns on it. And it has the distance. No doubt about it. The Indians on the board. Only their second hit. But it's a solo home run for Fukudome. His third. 17th given up by Rick Porcello.
Right back up the middle. Peralta has it skipped by him. And it's Drupal Cabrera with a base hit. So Rick Porcello had retired 13 Indians in a row, and then Fukudome took him deep, and now Cabrera with a base hit to center.
Well, it's something that, Porcello, I mean, he's been cruising, and those 8 runs in the first 2 innings certainly helped. Because in his last 2 starts, he only went 3 2/3 both times, on the 21st of August and the 10th. And he was out of the ball game, and they rocked him. But tonight, he had the sinker ball working. But now back-to-back hits for the Tribe here in the 7th. Out comes the pitching coach, Eric Lentz Jr. of Huntsville, Alabama, turning 6. Happy birthday. You may be in bed. Go ahead, Murph. We got you.
Our Miller Chase greatness moment. Cal Ripken Jr. on this date in 1995 broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played streak. But that pales in comparison to the doubleheader story that we were talking about.
Well, he came to Cleveland the next
game.
It
was an off day, and then the next game I think he played was here in Cleveland.
And didn't Cleveland clinched on
That's
that
right.
day?
That's exactly right. So guess what's coming up? Our Miller Chase greatness moment. Cabrera forced at second. Santana aboard at first on the fielder's choice.
Well, happy 65th wedding anniversary to Zelma and Edgar Weiss. Phil Koch up getting loose in the Tigers bullpen.
Jim Thome will step in 0 for 2. He has flied to center and grounded out. Thome's swing and a miss. A little bit low, 1-1. They're underway in Philadelphia after they sat through a lengthy rain delay hosting Atlanta. They're still in a rain delay in New York, where the Yankees are trying to get a game in against Baltimore. Boston throttling Toronto 13-0 in the 5th inning at the Rogers Center after they lost 1-0 to them last night. Texas, meanwhile, shutting out Tampa 7-0 down in St. Pete. White Sox lead the Twins 2-0. They're in the fourth inning in Minnesota. And that is called a strike. So he doesn't like it. Rick Porcello has only made 73 pitches on the night. Three and two. There's the set and the payoff pitch. And it's ball four. So we've got 2 on with 1 out, and Jason Kipnis coming to the plate, and Jim Leland is going to go to the bullpen.
Well, he feels his pitcher's done now. That's his first walk of the day, and it doesn't matter what the score is. He had, he's at 75 pitches, and he figures maybe he's done for the day.
Okay. He figures he's done. He's done.
Yeah.
We've got a timeout. Left-hander Phil Koch is coming on.
Ended on a positive note.
Out here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Jason Kipnis coming to the plate, and left-hander Phil Koch is coming on for Detroit.
Koch, you see that record 2-9, but take into consideration he started the year in the rotation. He was a bullpen guy last year, went to spring training, they lengthened him out, they put him in the starting rotation, didn't pan out, and now he's back in the bullpen again, coming on to face Jason Kipnis.
Santana, the runner at second. Thome is at first. Kipnis lined a base hit to left his first time up. Grounded out his last trip. That's up high, ball one. Paints the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Breaking ball and a beauty. And now Kipnis down on the count, 1-2. Strikes him out, 2 down. Just the second strikeout for Indians hitters here tonight. And it's worth mentioning because they have struck out a lot this year. They lead the American League in strikeouts, and they're frightfully close to eclipsing the team record for strikeouts in the season, which was set just a couple of years ago in 08. Lonnie Chisenhall 0 for 2. Twice he has grounded out. And Phil Koch gets ahead with a breaking ball for strike 1. Koch has made 14 starts this year for Detroit, but that did not go very well for him, as Chisenhall swings and misses in the count now 1-2. As a starter, he was just 1-7 with an ERA closing in on 5. And he's had some pretty good stretches coming out of the bullpen.
Well, you know, he still gets a fastball anywhere 92, 93 up to 95. He's got a good breaking ball. You know, you come out of that bullpen, you can let it loose and go, you know, throw harder. Then you got to pace yourself a little bit more when you're starting.
Strikes out Chisenhall. He gets back-to-back Ks to end the 7th. Indians get on the board, but it's still 8-1 Detroit.
Of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Heading to the 8th inning here at Progressive Field. Josh Judy, a scoreless 7th inning, will stay on to work the 8th. And he'll face the top of the order. Luis Valbuena has taken over for Jason Kipnis now at second base.
You know, this game was really ugly right from the start. One of those few games that we've had all year long where they've been blown out early. But, you know, the fans that have been here just haven't had a whole lot to get excited about because it was a rout early.
In the air, center field. Grady Sizemore on his horse, sprinting back, but it short hops the fence. And Austin Jackson pulls up in a second base with a leadoff double.
That's the Tigers' third double tonight. And Jackson's 21st of the year. He caught himself a breaking ball. And I'll tell you, the Indians pitching, when you watch some of the Tigers' hits tonight, and they have 13 of them, there were a lot of pitches in the middle of the plate by Indians pitchers tonight. And you'll know why they got base hits.
Andy Dirks, 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. Josh Judy taking a long look in. Now he's ready. He deals, and it's up and in. Hey, while we have some time here, I want to go back and finish up what we were talking about with that
1974
doubleheader game.
Right.
The game you were at, though, you went to see Jim Kern pitch. He pitched a great game, 9 innings, gives up 1 run, ends up the tough luck loser. But for fans who want to take a trip down memory lane, how about the Indians lineup that night? John Lowenstein leading off in left field. Frank Duffy in the 2-hole at short. George Hendrick, the silent one, in center field, batting third. Charlie Spikes in right field, hit cleanup. Then Big John Ellis at first. Buddy Bell at third. Oscar Gamble, the DH.
All right.
Dave Duncan, whose son Shelley now plays for the Indians, catching, batting eighth. And Remy Hermoso, who I don't remember was at second base batting ninth.
Yeah.
Also in
Angel.
that game.
It used to be Angel Hermoso, they called him, right.
Also in that game, Rusty Torres played some in left. Tommy McCraw played a little at first as a sub. Rico Cardi pinch hit.
The big man.
Great names out of the past. Fouled back.
Well, the fans didn't want to reminisce about that. They were shut out twice in one day.
Well, I mean, again, though, that's the thing. You lose 1-0 and 2-0.
Well, believe me, back in the day when Baltimore could pitch like they can, they could shut you down. You could go into a series with them and not get a hit.
Way outside, and it's ball 4. In the first game of that doubleheader, mentioned Dave McNally was the winner for Baltimore. Fritz Peterson went 8 1/3 for the Indians. So the tough luck loser, he only gave up the 2 runs.
They had well-pitched games. There you go. That was great pitching throughout both teams. But I don't know how you got onto that game and you brought it up today, because it's funny. You did.
That's amazing. Wait a minute. I was at that game. You called yourself up. That's the best line of the night right there. Did you get called up? No, I called myself up.
Yeah, it was only a 3.5, 4-hour drive from Niagara Falls.
Delman Young, 2 for 3, 2 singles. Was taken out of the ball game, and then Brandon Inge went to third, and Don Kelly went to left. So it's Inge who hits in Delman Young's spot in the order, and a foul tip. Here's the 1-1 from Judy. A little bit high. Frank Herman now getting loose in the Tribe pen. Checked. They want an appeal. They do, and Brian Gorman said he didn't go. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And that's ball 4. So Judy worked a scoreless 7th. He's worked himself into a bases loaded, nobody out jam now here in the 8th inning. And our in-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. Now the Tigers did all their damage early. 6 straight 2-out hits in the first, accumulating 5 runs, and then they added 3 more in the second. Been fairly quiet since then. But now here in the 8th, they've loaded them up with nobody out. And Miguel Cabrera is the batter, and he's 3 for 4 with 2 singles and a double.
You never want to load the bases for this guy. When something like this happens and you're in a closer game, you look for damage control, but this guy is one guy that's tough to control.
Well, they did this yesterday. Remember in the 8th inning, that's how the Tigers got their 4th run. They loaded him up for Cabrera, and he bounced into what had the chance to be an inning-ending double play, but they couldn't turn it. And he picked up an RBI on the fielder's choice. But still, yeah, you're playing with fire with Cabrera. Bounces it to third. Chisholm had trouble getting it out of his glove, and they still turn 2. Tigers do pick up a run, but a nice double play turn here. Miguel Cabrera is not going to set any records getting down the line either.
Well, and he was up aggressive. After the walk to Inge, he had Inge down in the count. It's one of those games. He knows it's out of control. Let's go. He's going to hit it, puts it in play, and they turn a double play. He hits it on the ground right at Chisenhall. So they go 5-4-3. The run crosses the plate. It makes it 9-1, but you get the 2 big outs.
And a runner at third for Victor Martinez. And the 1-0 in there for a strike. Smashed into right field. Victor Martinez with his 3rd RBI of the night and his 6th in the series. 10-1 Detroit. Another 2-out RBI for the Tigers.
Yeah, he's the one that got it started back in the 1st inning. When you think about it,
yeah,
comes back up. They had a walk and a base hit, and then Victor Martinez got him on the board off Carmona with the ball right between his legs, and he comes back up in his 2nd straight hit. Or hit in an RBI with 2 outs tonight.
Now Josh Judy comes set. And the pitch to Alex Avila is inside. Well, the Yankees and Orioles must really want to avoid playing a doubleheader tomorrow because they are still waiting almost 2.5 hours after their scheduled start time. High fly ball. Deep to left. Carrera back there. And the inning is over. Detroit tacks on 2. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. 10-1 Tigers. Has gone from left field. He's gone from third base to left field, now to first base. And Ryan Rayburn into the ball game in left. For the Indians, Ezekiel Carrera, Lou Marson, and Grady Sizemore due up. Ezekiel Carrera 0 for 2. Twice he has grounded out. Phil Koch, left-hander, came on and struck out the only 2 he faced in the 7th. Carrera originally signed by the New York Mets, and then he went from the Mets to the Mariners as part of that off-season trade a couple of years ago that involved the Indians, the Mets, and the Mariners. The Indians, of course, sending Franklin Gutierrez to Seattle. Joe Smith ended up coming to the Indians, but the Mets sent 6 players, including Ezekiel Carrera, to Seattle.
Tell you what, that wind is picking up here, huh? Late in the ball game.
Yeah, it's still blowing
really
straight
whistling in.
Into foul ground, Brandon Inge makes the grab, 1 away. That's going to bring up Lou Marson. Marson 0 for 2 here tonight. I'll tell you what, Rick, now that I look at it, just checking the weather real quick, the weather.com page. The reason they're probably waiting in New York is the forecast looks really bad tomorrow.
Yeah. And I don't think the Yankees have another day off either. I think their schedule's pretty much booked, so they have to get it done or you have to wait to the end of the year.
Well, remember, it's ironic that it's Baltimore. Remember, they had the big war of words when they were in Baltimore, because the Orioles want them to come back there on an off day to make up a game that they had rained out.
It's funny how ways have a thing of evening out.
That's right. It's up high to Marson. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Al Albuquerque warming in the Tiger pen. Right back to the screen off the bat of Marson. $12 game tomorrow here at Progressive Field. We'll have it for you on STO as Justin Masterson goes against Justin Verlander in the series finale. Two balls, 2 strikes. Now the 2-2. Marson strikes out. 2 away. 3 punch outs for Coke. And Grady Sizemore coming up. Grady 0 for 3 tonight. He has grounded out and twice flied out. Shelley Duncan going to pinch hit for Sizemore. Duncan has been a terrific pinch hitter on the year, going 4 for 7 with 7 runs batted in. But normally when he's called on to pinch hit, it's in a key situation in a ball game. This is more like just a pinch hit to get an at bat. Now the 0-2. Got a little piece of that to stay alive. Jim Leyland's Tigers closing in on their 80th win of the year. We'll go to the 9th. 10-1 Detroit. Here at Progressive Field, and on the pitch now for the Indians is right-hander Frank Durbin. He is the 5th Indians pitcher to work in tonight's game. He'll be facing the bottom third of the Tigers' order, and we'll get some pinch hitters, it looks like, for Detroit.
Well, it has turned into one of those games.
Shelley Duncan is now in left field. Ezekiel Carrera moves over to center. Will Rhymes pinch hitting for Johnny Peralta. And Frank Herman with a fastball strike. That's down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flared toward left. Duncan is in. He makes the catch. 1 away. Stay tuned after the ball game for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. We'll look back at the highlight, and we'll get you set up for tomorrow's series finale. And it's going to be a good one tomorrow. Justin Masterson, Justin Verlander. Don Kelly a swing and a miss. He's 1 for 4 on the night. Justin Verlander leads the league in earned run average. Justin Masterson is 6th. Both pitchers also among the top 10 in innings pitched. Verlander leading the league in innings pitched, 223 logged thus far. That's socked down the right field line. Cut off by Fukudome, and Don Kelly has a 1-out single.
Well,
here's Ramon Santiago, 1 for 4. An RBI single way back in the first. And that goes up the middle. Nice backhanded grab by Valbuena. Glove flip to second for the force, and Cabrera turns the double play. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Tribe down 9. Bottom of the ninth here at Progressive Field. And Detroit goes back to their bullpen as right-hander Al Albuquerque comes on for the 35th time this year. For the Indians, it'll be Kosuke Fukudome as Drupal Cabrera and Carlos Santana due up. Will Rhymes stays in the game at second base. Santiago goes to short. And Omir Santos coming on now to catch.
Albuquerque just came off the disabled list on Sunday night. He had a concussion when he hit with a ball in batting practice in the head and missed some time. I mean, this guy came in a ball game earlier in Cleveland and really pitched a gem. He had he struck out about 7, I think, in 3 innings. He did a terrific job. He's got a good arm, but then he spent some time on the DL. Because, like I said, with the concussion, he is back. And the Indians tonight, just the 3 hits. And, of course, when they scored, it's another solo home run. They haven't been able to do anything. Porcello went his 6 1/3. Bill Koch did a nice job. He had 4 strikeouts.
Kosuke Fukudome accounting for the Indians' offense tonight with that home run in the 7th. Up and away for ball 1. White Sox lead the Twins 3-0. They are in the 6th in Minnesota. If they hang on, the Indians will slip to 3rd place, heading into tomorrow's series finale. Strike is called, and it's 1-2. Texas blowing out Tampa 8-0. They're in the 8th in St. Pete. Boston 13-0 over Toronto. They're in the 7th at Rogers Center. Yankees Orioles still in a rain delay. 1 down here in the 9th. Nice play by Luis Valbuena to start an inning-ending double play.
Yeah, nice little backhanded flip over to Cabrera in time to turn it to get Santiago. Nicely done.
Here is Cabrera, 1 for 3 on the night. The base hit his last time up. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. And as Drupal Cabrera is out looking. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's going to bring up Carlos Santana, who is 0 for 3 on the night. Here is Santana. Carlos struck out in the 2nd inning, grounded out in the 4th, bounced into a fielder's choice in the 7th. Now time called. Santana steps away. Al Albuquerque, Tigers right-hander, deals, and there's a strike. It's 2-1. We're right back with you tomorrow at noon, high noon. It's Justin Masterson and Justin Verlander. 2-1 pitch. A little bit low, 3 balls and a strike. Al will have the On Deck show at 11:30. See if he can drag Jason out of bed and get him here for the pregame show as well.
They're going on at 9:30 tomorrow, I think.
Strike called, full count. So with 2 down and the base is empty here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Albuquerque ready with a payoff pitch. A 2-out walk keeps the inning alive for Jim Thome. Albuquerque ready. And it's in the dirt. And he missed again. It's ball 2. Three on the right side for Detroit. Thome awaits the 2-0 pitch. And there is a called strike. He missed inside, 3-1. Albuquerque showing signs of rust, though he didn't show any signs of it against the first 2 hitters, striking them both out. Now the 3-1 to Thome, and that's ball 4. He's walked back-to-back hitters after striking out the first 2.
You know, you figure, hey, 10-1, nice and relaxed. You get the first 2 punch outs, and you got the guy, and now your pitching coach has to come out and talk to you.
In a 9-run game, really, does the pitching coach need to go out and talk to him?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. Look at him. Okay, I'm fine. I just happen to walk 2.
Cord Phelps running for Thome. Luis Valbuena will get his first at bat of the night. He came on for Jason Kipnis. Kipnis was 1 for 3 in his return to the lineup. And Valbuena looks at a ball outside.
Now, sometimes the harder you try and throw a strike, the tougher it is.
Finds his zone that time, 1-1. That's up high, 2-1. And that's back out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back out of play. Here's the set and the 2-2. And a high pop foul, slicing. Hinge can't get to it. And Valbuena stays alive. The 2-2 offering. It's up high, full count. Jim Leyland has watched Albuquerque strike the first 2 out, walk the next 2, and now a little squibber up the third baseline. That's going to be a base hit, and they're loaded. And Jim Leland's going back to the bullpen.
Little ball off the end of the bat there. Not much he could do. He had problems throwing strikes, and the manager seen enough. He says, all right, you're out of here.
Struck the first 2 out, walked the next 2, and then a little squibber off the end of the bat hastens the exit of Al Albuquerque. A timeout here at Progressive Field. 10-1 Detroit. There are 2 out. The Indians are down 9. But Jim Leland not taking any chances. He goes to left-hander Daniel Schlereth to face Lonnie Chisenhall. Schlereth, 44th appearance on the year. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for Lonnie Chisenhall. As Jason Donald will bat for the Indians. And Jason Donald has done a terrific job against left-handed pitchers this year. .296 average on the year, .395 against left-handed pitching. So JD trying to keep the heat on Detroit. Their bullpen is still busy. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Schlereth ready with the 0-1. And it's foul tipped. No balls, 2 strikes. Two down, bases loaded. The 0-2 pitch to Donald. And he
did.
Strikes him out. So the Indians leave him loaded. And Detroit wins it 10-1.
Yeah, there's the check. It didn't look like it now on the replay, but they called it.
So the winning pitcher tonight is Rick Porcello. He's 13-8. The loser, Fausto Carmona, he is 6-14. With the win, Detroit is now 80-62. The loss drops the Indians to 70-69. They're 8.5 games off the pace now. If the White Sox hang on and win, they'll move ahead of the Indians, and the Tribe will drop to third place. Tigers have now won 5 in a row as they've taken the first 2 in this critical 3-game series. Time now for our play of the game. It's brought to you by KeyBank. Thanks for making KeyBank the #1 bank in Northeast Ohio.
Well, unfortunately, early in the ballgame, Fausto Carmona had no location. Everything he was throwing was middle of the plate, was upstairs, and the Tigers actually took advantage of it. I mean, they had 6 2-out base hits in the first inning and just never able to catch his breath from that point on. So it's just one of those days that you did need as an Indians fan to sit and watch. And in the second inning was a couple of doubles, and that's what did Fausto Carmona in. Location was the bad part of the day. So that's going to be our KeyBank key play of the game.
Well, we'll come back and we'll talk about things on the Conrad's postgame show next.